right, so this is the market, the cues. Normally we don't top out from a pattern like this at all. The market would need to accelerate before we top out. So there's no acceleration at all. And if you look at the SPY, that's a daily buy setup, setting up in the SPY at the 45-degree rising 20. The bias should be invariably bullish, especially on the SPY. The Q is a little bit more tricky, but again, we shouldn't be topping out from a pattern like this. We top out when we have an accelerated move to the upside. Nvidia's down. I thought it was up. It's up. Yeah. So anyways, so that's the Qs. That's the SPY. Perfect uptrend. And here's the IWM. Not bad either. Pull back to the rising 20. So for swing trading, the buy or longer term trading, and for bias, just to set the bias, it should be bullish for sure. Okay. Yes, the market got a little, the Qs especially got a little sloppy, but other than that, it is still bullish. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about the market. In terms of today's calls, and I'll show you, we have too many open positions to go over the entire list, so let me know if there's any questions about anything that's, you know, any of the open positions. These were the calls for today. Let's see, SPY, QSI all went below their expected moves for the week. Okay, all right. So here's the calls for the week, for today. We got the APD on a base breakout. It looks good. It's not like a serious play. I was just thinking, you know, on this hourly base breakout to the 20 on the daily. It closed just a tiny bit negative, hoping it pops tomorrow and gets to the 20 on the daily chart. Looks good. Blaze didn't trigger, but looks good for tomorrow. So Blaze stays as an open call for tomorrow on the Blaze. EZPW triggered and failed in the same day. So this one, if you kept, use today's low as your stop. But it did trigger by a couple cents and then came back in and stopped. HMY didn't trigger, don't like it anymore, cancel the play. IFBD valid for tomorrow, still looks good, just needs to take out 220 on the IFBD. Is also, I believe, Chinese, and the China stocks are looking good. We have the yen, I don't know what else we have in the newsletter. That's from the China stocks. I have a few. I have the yen, the CWIP, I have the BOB, I have the XPEV, I have the TAL and the GATU. So anyways, the SoFi didn't trigger, cancel the SoFi. The PASG, cancel the PASG. It rolled below the 20. Otherwise it's similar pattern to the Blaze, but the Blaze stayed strong. So cancel the PASG. Wells Fargo, I will not be tracking in the newsletter because it took out the stop first before triggering. So even though this looks really good and I got it, it is, you know, if you're in it, great. If not, actually looks okay for tomorrow. Even if you didn't get it, I think it looks good for tomorrow. Okay, on the Wells Fargo, if you're not in, looks good. Now the initially the target on it was at $60, so if we were to play it over 52.70 by 51.10, that's $1.60 to $60. That's plenty reward to risk, plenty of room. So Wells Fargo is okay. The Snapchat looks lower, triggered short, looks good. What I don't like about the Snapchat is it's not coming from a tight pattern and it's not a tight stop, but it just looks good otherwise. And then UDMY looks pretty good. Can go ahead and lower the stop to over 1105 from all the way down from 1161. So I think it's okay to lower the stop to 1105. You'll see the updated stops in the newsletter tonight. Okay. In terms of what I'm gonna be watching for tomorrow, I didn't finish scanning, of course. I just had 30 minutes after the close. But those are the valid calls for tomorrow from today's list. For here's some plays that I like. I guess the Airbnb is gonna be too big of a stop as a daily buy setup, and it looks good. Rising 20 looks good on every time frame, daily, weekly, monthly. But it's too big of a bar. AEO is already an open position and is looking good. AEO as a longer term play looks good to hear. Basically on the AEO. Blaze we talked about is already on the list. I'm liking the banks higher. The BNKU specifically is the, I think, is it the leverage? Yeah, it's the leverage ETF for the medium-sized banks. Like the monthly a lot. Is a transition A on the monthly. So the entry for this, it's a little bit sloppy, but it would have to be over this bar's high. That's 24. Stop would be under today's low. So I like it, but again, there's a sloppy pattern on the BNKU. Beyond Meats is transitioning on the daily, but it's too sloppy of a pattern. So I'm gonna let it go on the BYND. Sure, Mike. I appreciate it. It's just bad timing because we have the open house this week, and I almost never get sick, and oh well, it is what it is. So I don't have the same energy or the same mental sharpness that I normally do, but it is what it is. Anyways, the DNTH, what is this? I mean, wow. Tell me that's not bullish. Of course it's really, really bullish. And it doesn't look like it's ready to go. It doesn't look like it's ready to go, but I'm gonna send an alert on it. In fact, I'll do it right now. So I like to use Sterling for setting the alerts, and I just go to this window right here. This is the main window. Click on this bell. Okay, I don't know what that is actually. Oh, exchange alerts. No, click on this bell. This is what pops up, this window right here. And as you can see, I have a ton of alerts. Some of them have triggered and some of them, so go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and add an alert, but I need to know where the alert is gonna go. That's 2470. That's 2515. So we'll do it around 2470 because that will be the first entry. In fact, I'll do it around 2340 because I won't do it over 2340. I mean the entry, but I'll set up the alert for the DNTH at 2340. Okay, so all I need is just a pop-up notification, but because normally I have the sound off, so I'm not gonna hear it anyway, but might as well. So the DNTH I have an alert for. I don't think it's ready, but it looks higher. The driven is I called it as an earnings play, but if it doesn't gap, it actually looks good higher. If it doesn't gap, it kind of triggered already today. If it doesn't gap up already, looks good. Looks all right. EAT looks good longer term. Let's take a look at the EAT weekly. Let's take a look at the EAT monthly. It's a 1, 2, 3 on the monthly chart with room to like $60. So EAT is nice, but it's very, very sloppy. Just like the DNTH, I'm going to go ahead and send an alert for it. So the entry for this should be above the highs, 46.15 it looks like. So let's set the alert for 46.03, which is above today's high on EAT. So EAT over 46, so 46.03. Well, I just set an alert. It looks higher, but it's too sloppy. Guess I think is a little too sloppy, but does look higher. Here's the monthly on the guess, and here's the weekly. Maybe next week we can try it as a 1 2 3 on the guess. Looks good as a 1 2 3. And then GRRR is a daily buy setup. Deep pullback though, so unless it bases for a couple more days, I wouldn't do it. It's a nice watch. Needs to base, I think. IFBD's already on the favorites for tomorrow. Logi, so I was in the Logi and I really liked it long term on this transition right here, and then really liked it, and then I decided to get out of it before earnings. So this is the day that I got out of it, gapped up on earnings, never looked back until now. So here it is, just went up and up and up and up, gap down on earnings, and now it's doing a weekly buy setup. So this would be our chance, if I wanted to get in it, to go long on the Logi over 88.10. It's gonna be a big stop under, wow, 83. That's a $5 stop. So even if it gets to the prior high, it won't make much money at all on the Logi. So that's the issue with it. Oh, the same thing happened with you on the, yeah, that's funny, isn't it? Same exact. Yeah, it didn't look good ahead of earnings, and I got scared of it, so jumped out, and then next day over $10 up, I think it was, and then it just went up another 20 on top of that. So yeah, I don't think this has the R to R, so we'll let it go for now on the Logi. NET is already an open play. Honestly, the target on it was 120. This was done as an earnings play long and as a swing long, and it almost gapped the target basically to 120. If you sold some, congrats, that was the right thing to do. If not, it's starting to do a buy setup. Now the way I know it's not quite ready is by looking at the hourly chart. When the 20 MA on the hourly chart starts to curl up, you know, I'll show you what I mean in just a second. Just took out my annotation tool. If this were to base here and the 20 were to go, you know, to flatten out and starts to point up, then I know it would be ready. So right now, it's not that it can't go higher. It might, it can, but I just it would be hard to play it. Nvidia over 688, but it's already up over 700, I think. So as a daily buy setup, so it's already, actually it's at 724. Wow, it's pretty nice on the Nvidia. Okay, so it's too late as a buy setup. The PNM is a breakout. Triggered already, was in the newsletter for today, just as an idea. It still looks great, still looks wonderful. Big stop though on the PNM. Stop would have to be down here. So it's kind of a big stop. It looks beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The RELY, no, I mean I didn't mean to put this on the list. Doesn't look good. The RNA looks nice, looks higher. Pretty sloppy pattern. Love the move up, love the uptrend. The buy setup, especially this buy setup, wow, picture perfect. So this should still continue to go higher, but the pattern over here is not pretty. I mean, is a little bit sloppy. That's the issue with it. Roma, I'm too scared to play it, but it does look higher on the daily chart. So it would be over this bar's high, $1.60. Got to $1.60 today. Stop under $1.17 and target, you know, plenty of room to like $4 on the Roma. Looks really nice, but it clearly looks like a crazy stock also. So it's tough. The Roma, if you want over $1.60, I don't think I'm gonna play. SPG is doing a daily buy, a daily 1, 2, 3. Looks very bullish, but I don't know that I would play it. And then Wells Fargo we talked about is already on the list for tomorrow. Even though it triggered today, I'll go ahead and call it tomorrow. Because like I said, if the stock takes out the stop before triggering, that makes the play invalid. Now GB in the other room mentioned that it was about to trigger, and that's when I looked at it and I said, oh, it actually still looks good. I just need to lower my share size on it, because initially it was sized to over 50 by 25, so it was a much tighter stop, and then it dropped to 13. So it still looks good, but it is gonna be a bigger stop. In terms of the shorts, here's what I have as of right now. This one triggered yesterday already, but I'm thinking about adding to it. It looks wonderful. The ANTX trigger. Oh, it's already down 11% today. I guess that's a big drop. It doesn't look like an 11% bar, does it? So I was thinking about adding to it under today's low, but then again, 11% drop already. Lower the stop to 3. Well, that's almost the same as the original. The original is over 401. If you're not in it, it looks great. BA is looking lower. Check out the BA. Looks lower. Wow. Not sure, but BA is looking lower. Bill has a weekly 1, 2, 3. It's like the Snapchat on the weekly. Here's Snapchat, and here's Bill. Bill, I would argue, looks better, but the daily and the hourly chart are, they don't look that good. So we'll let it go. Expedia is a sell setup. Expedia would be an hourly base breakdown under the base, stop above it, daily sell setup. So short under 133.40, stop 136.80. It's not great. The Nvidia didn't need to put it on the bearish list. NWL is daily sell setup, but it's not a tight pattern. In fact, it triggered already today. This is a big bar on the Nvidia, on the NWL, so it doesn't look that good. TUP is probably going to zero. Sorry to say, TUP is lower to $1.17. So it's not a lot of room. It's only about 17 cents. So short 15 cents under 132 by 143. Target is about 117. But this one for sure looks lower to me. It's just that it doesn't have a lot of room. 17 cents basically. And the stop, I think, is 10 cents. It's slightly more than 10. Under $1.32 by $1.44 basically. So the top. Vuzi. When does the Vuzi report earnings? Because this one, I mean, if that's not lower, then I don't know what is. This one and the CVAC. CVAC, I think I looked, it reports in April. So maybe it already reported this quarter. But the Vuzi, Vuzi reports March 6th. What about I just opened TC2000 to double check. What about the CVAC? Does it really report in April? Or CVAC? Let's take a look, because those two look amazing. Yeah, shows April over here, April 23rd. But I don't remember seeing the CVAC. I mean, I don't think the CVAC reported this quarter. So I don't know why it's, yeah, I don't know why it's not until April, because it should have, because I don't remember it reporting this quarter at all. But the CVAC and the Vuzi lower. But they don't look good swing, because they don't have good setups. And then this one is an hourly base breakdown. Looks beautiful. It was in the newsletter for today as an ID, I believe. I don't know if it has enough R to R, but basically looks good short under this hourly base, stop above it, and target down here at 132.37. That's kind of my list for tonight. I've only scanned I just started scanning, but I haven't I haven't finished at all. It's gonna take me a couple hours. So yeah, let me know what questions I can answer for you. Does the newsletter give entry? Yes, it does. I give exact entry, stop, and target. Exact entry, stop, and target, and the management also on a daily basis. I update the stops as need be. Review of crypto. Okay. Hey Tim. Okay, so all right. So I use Binance for when I'm playing crypto. Binance.us. Uh, and I also use Kraken.com. Those are the two main exchanges that I use for crypto trading, or okay. Those are the two main exchanges. Of course, Coinbase is nice too. It's the nicest, but it's super expensive. So that's the issue with Coinbase. In terms of Bitcoin, it doesn't make sense to do Bitcoin anymore. It only makes sense to do the ETFs, especially since the ETFs are free. They have no expense ratio at all right now for the first 6 months or so. In terms of the best ETFs, it's these four for Bitcoin: IBIT, FBTC. These are the most liquid and they're all free. And I'm not in any of them because I'm in the BITO, because I got it when it triggered the first time over here. No, it was even before. It was over here. So I didn't want to sell it and get into the free crypto ETFs. So I'm actually in BITO. And recently I added to it, but because I just wanted to add to the original position. So I still got more BITO. I didn't get any of these other ETFs. But if I were to start a position now from scratch, it would be one of these five. Okay, let me type them into the alert window for you. Those are the most liquid crypto ETFs that are free. I got a couple thousand shares of the ETHE. This one is an OTC fund, so so it's not as it's pretty liquid, but can be a tiny bit spready sometimes. And because it's OTC, it's over the counter, it can be it can take a little bit for the order to get filled. So if you feel more comfortable doing Ethereum, the actual coin, that works too. Now if I were to review the Ethereum charts, it has a buy setup on the 4-hour time frame, the Ethereum. So here it is. It looks good, higher, over this bar's high, over just this bar's high. It's 29.40. Bitcoin has a buy setup, but not as good. So Ethereum looks better. And then BNB, there's no ETF for it. I've been mentioning it a lot lately, but basically I mentioned it on that monthly 1, 2, 3. And the nice thing about the monthly is that it's a transition A on the monthly chart. It's a transition plus a 1, 2, 3. So this looks the nicest right now. There's a lot of other coins that look good. In fact, this is the list. Anything that's flagged looks good. For the most part. Solana, maybe I wouldn't get it anymore. It's okay, but Dogecoin is looking good, or Dogecoin, however way you want to say it. This one looks nice, a little bit late, but looks good. So these are all. This is a Bitcoin Cash. So here it is. I know the chart is not centered. So there's a lot of coins that look good. This looks good. Maybe not quite ready, but looks good. This one, if it fails on the sell setup on the monthly chart, You know, God USD. Maybe not. God USD, I wouldn't do it. Atom, that's the monthly. Only if it fails on the sell setup. This one is a little bit late now on the auctions. ETCs. This looks nice. This is the Ethereum Classic. So there's a lot of coins that look good. Nothing nicer than in my opinion, than the BNB at the moment. Nothing nicer than the BNB. A little bit late, but not too late, honestly. Not too late. Okay. In terms of hedging, I bought BT twice and I ended up selling it because it wouldn't follow through. So yes, the best hedge that I know of is BITI to Bitcoin. Bought it twice. Bought it a little bit yesterday and then sold. Oh, yesterday, right here. I bought it at 59 or at 60. Yesterday, see, that's 60. Didn't go, and then today I bought it and it didn't go either. So I killed it both times. Because the reason to have a hedge is if you see that Bitcoin is not looking good at all. But when I see that Bitcoin is recovering and is looking higher again, I don't need to have the hedge on. It's only when Bitcoin is not looking good would I need to have the hedge on, if that makes any sense. But yes, BT looks nice over the base, but I hope it doesn't go because I'm not in it anymore. And besides, you know, actual Bitcoin looks okay still. Okay, so you did as well. Gotcha. So you know, Binance US and Kraken for the as a crypto exchanges. There used to be a lot of other exchanges that I have accounts with, but that are no longer taking US customers. That I you know, that have like really low commissions. I mean, I tried them. I logged on to them recently to see, and then they would say, oh, based on your IP address, you know, you're not we don't serve whatever this region anymore. Now I can use an IP, what is it called, like a VPN. Yeah, I can use a VPN, but I'm afraid, you know, when it comes time to withdrawing the money, or that I would have an issue. So US based exchanges that I like are Binance US and Kraken. Okay. Yeah, you know, Mara is interesting. It's on a pullback, but it's extremely wild. And then also, I think where I trade with TradeStation, the margin requirement for it must be extremely high, because whenever I buy, let's say, a few hundred shares of Mara, it like it takes away so much of my buying power. So I'm in the Coinbase. That's what I have. I didn't take anything on the gap up, unfortunately. It was actually up $20,000 on 300 shares. I did it live on the mic in the room over 120.50. I believe it was 120.50. 121, 129, 121, and got all the way 300 shares, 20k. But I didn't take anything because I like it long term, and as you can see, the last couple days I gave back a bunch. I gave back 7k, I think, the last 3 days. But that's the Coinbase. Doesn't look good just yet. I think the crypto stocks don't look that good at the moment. We had the CLSK, but that trailed out. What about the Bitfarms? Because and that doesn't look good. Yeah, the crypto stocks don't look that good right now. I wouldn't play them. Yep, none of them look good. And I look at the MSTR, they don't look good. Any more crypto stocks? I mean, I have a whole list of them. Here's the list if you want. Oops, I uploaded it as an image, but here it is. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna delete this watch list. I don't think the Bitcoin stocks look good at all right now, even though Bitcoin is moving. I mean, you know, really didn't come in much at all. For the most part, they crashed. Yeah, not a single one of them looks good here. This is a short. Doesn't look good at all. Yeah, none of them look good, so I wouldn't. Just feel free to watch the coin, and I'd say on the next setup would be nice because of the monthly and the weekly. They both look good, but maybe on the next entry on the Coinbase, but otherwise they don't really look good. All right, so I hope I answered your questions, Tim. I'm gonna see if I can grab any other, if I have any other questions, and answer those. Okay, what do I think about the QBTS? I don't like it that much. Is that another Bitcoin stock? I'm not familiar with it at all. Not sure about the QBTS. Extremely bullish, but got too sloppy here. So it's too hard to read. So very, very bullish, but got a bit too sloppy. Maybe as a Bitcoin stock, but we already have a position in it. The Robinhood, so Hood. But even that doesn't look good for a new entry. So, all right. So the QBTS, again, too sloppy. If it can base, then it would be fine. If it can base for a few more days. Okay. I'm catching up on some of the comments. Question: what about the question regarding the end of day entries? Is the suggestion to enter, hold overnight and sell the next day, or wait for a particular target? Excuse me. The earnings plays, the way they're played is you get in at the close, because what I'm saying is it doesn't matter what the intraday is doing or what it looks like, just enter at any point you want. But because whether you save like I try to time my entry during the day, it never made any money. So to make it easier for myself, I just enter at the end of the day, and I use an MOC, a market on close order. Some platforms simply call it CLO. So this one, market CLO, and I just select this, or MOC. If you look at E-Trade, level 2, it's called market on close. So I use these types of orders, and I get filled at the exact closing price. And so for the earnings, I enter at the end of the day, and the next day, if I'm in long, then I put my stop under the 15-minute bar's low. So I wait for the first 15-minute bar to close, and at 9:45 I put my stop under it, and then I sell at the end of the day tomorrow, if the stop doesn't get taken out. Sometimes I decide to keep longer term. Also, if I like the position long term, then you can keep it. But the idea is, to wait for the 15-minute bar to close and to put the stop under it. If I'm in a stock short, then I use the 5-minute high. So I put my stop above the 9:35, the 9:35 bars high. Does that make sense? So that's what I do. And now this quarter in particular, I think let me just double check, not including today's plays, this quarter. So hold on 1 second. I just wanted to show you the difference of holding versus hold on 1 second. So just 1 second, please. I'll show you the difference in terms of management. So 280, got it. I'm just updating the numbers here. So this quarter, not including today, is basically so here it is. By exiting at the open, assuming $25,000 per play, you would have made 69,000. By exiting, by managing, the plays would have made 96,000. So in the long run, managing works better. So this is with managing, and this is by exiting at the open. As you can see, managing, you double your money over time. You double your money. Those are the earnings plays, and that tracks thousands of plays that I've called so far this in this newsletter. So these are the earnings plays going back to 2017. Every single one of them is tracked. Now it's tracked. Luckily, I was able to figure out how to use Google Finance to get the data to download automatically for me. But so about 4,660 plays called so far, and so that's based on based on exiting at the open versus exiting managing. Even this quarter, almost every quarter you make more money, but this quarter was tied almost up until recently. It was almost tied, like it was 94 versus 90. It was almost the same this quarter. But over the years, as you can see, it's managing is the way to go. And I told you how to manage. From the longs, wait for the 935 bar. So here it is. 935, the bar closes, put your stop under it. And then just sell it at the end of the day. Wherever it ends up closing at, just sell it at the end of the day. If it stops, then you're out. If you're in a play short, then put your stop under the 5-minute bars high. So at 935, you put your stop above it. If it stops, you're out. If not, then you just hold it. And you'd be surprised at how much more sometimes the plays will go. Like MED today, I didn't think it would drop this much because it was already a bit novice. I thought it was already a little bit novice, and it held on the 5-minute, never took out the 5-minute bars high, and just continued lower. So here it is. Put your stop above it, never took it out, and then boom, continued lower. So that's the idea for the earnings plays. Now, if you say, well, wait a second, I can't manage this many earnings plays, that's fine. Then exit at the open. That still works. That still makes money. But it's nicer if you can do it, if you can manage. Or you can build a program, which is what I've done. You can build a little program to, so that at 9:35 the program automatically puts a stop in the system for you at the low of the day. Does that make sense? So you can do that too. Alright, so I hope that makes sense, whoever asked me about the earnings plays. So I get in at the close and then I manage the next day. Now for the regular swings, I don't get in at the close. I just get in at the, whatever number I give you is where I get in. So in the newsletter it's specified. But these are two different types of trades. The earnings plays and the regular swings. Okay. All right. Let's see. What about the question regarding? Okay, so I answered that question. Are these chats part of the chat room? Yeah, I mean, I guess. Some stocks got hit today, for example, Crowd. Yeah, a lot of the tech stocks got hit. Yeah, but who knows? I mean, Crowd has been up a lot, so at some point you'd expect it to come in. But as you can see, it didn't even crash. It went back up. Yeah, doesn't mean much. Doesn't really mean much. The market is bigger than any single stock. Citibank, I'll take a look. It's not too bad on the Citibank because it's a buy setup also. So it's a daily pullback and a 123. So it's not too bad, but is it as nice as Wells Fargo? I don't think so. So I don't think it's as nice as Wells Fargo or even JPM for that matter. But yeah, it's like a 123 long, maybe stop right here. Better yet, stop right here. So right here. I think that's what I would do, but I wouldn't play it. I'd just play Wells Fargo or JPM, but JPM might be a little bit late. It's not late. Yeah, JPM looks good. In fact, Bank of America, I think, looks good too. No, it doesn't look that good. So, and then Citibank, Wells Fargo, JPM, Bank of America. Is there anything else from the global banks? Those are the four, I think. Yeah, I would just do JPM and Wells Fargo personally. Okay, Jason. Uh, the 5 minute opening range is how I manage my earnings plays. Short. The ones that I'm in short, yes. Off the 5. Long off the 15. But yes, that's what I do. And now, if you have a play that's going against you that you just know it's lower. Now, you never know for sure, but sometimes you look at the stock, you look at the gap, and you're like, I feel like pretty sure that it's gonna be lower. Then you can just sell it at the open. If you're in something long and you feel really sure that it's lower, Roku is an example. And then just go ahead and sell it at the open. Doesn't matter. Don't wait for the bar to close out, or Fisley or something like this. Fisley wasn't as clear, but Roku was like a definite lower short. That was last week. We had a nice play on it as a day trade. So you don't need to hold. You don't need to manage everything, but the vast majority of the times, as I showed you, the tracking over the years, the vast majority of the time, you're better off holding. You're better off managing. You double your money basically if you can manage. Okay. Hey Pedro, use a program set. Yes. I do use a program that automatically sets my stop at 9:35, at the 9:35 low and the 9:45 low. Yeah, which is one of the main reasons why I'm with TradeStation. Is I was able to create a program so I don't have to manually put in the stops because I don't have the time. I'm always on the mic at that time, and not always because James does the open also a couple times a week. But yeah, so it makes it easier for me. All right, especially when there's a lot of plays. Uh, uh, yes, I did have somebody help me, a programmer. Help me with it, but something that we created. Yeah. And yeah, I'm sure you can probably do the same thing with Toss and then other platforms too. Pretty sure you can. It just makes it easier to, if you can have a program put the stop in the system for you quickly rather than have to do it yourself. Now, initially, what I would do is if I didn't have such a tool and, and you're taking a lot of earnings plays, I would just exit the majority of them at the open and manage the ones that you like, that you think are like good gaps. You can manage those. And then the majority just sell at the open. Again, up until like a couple days ago, this was, This was 94 versus 90 something, 90,000. So it was very close up until just a couple days ago. Yeah. Right, Tim. So that's about it. Any other questions that I might have missed? So for the longs, I use the 15 minute. Longs, I use the 15. Shorts, I use the 5. So I'll give you an example today. Ring got bought. Guess where where I got out? Over the 5. Didn't work. I mean, it was in our favor, out. So over the 5. If I was in it long, then the stop goes under the 15. If I was in it long. Okay. Let's see. Question, Greg. Just to enter the trade at the end of the day, do you stay and monitor it if it goes long or instead of short? Yeah. No, I don't monitor it after the close. The only one that I'm aware of what it's doing after the close is Nvidia, because it moves the market. So I saw the market pop a little bit after the close, so I knew Nvidia was up. But no, I don't trade it in the post market. I don't even look at the trades after the close. I just enter, and then the next day is when I manage them. Now, this is how to do it, by the way. This is how to figure out what the share size should be. It's explained in the alert. If you looked at the alert and so let me just show you real quick. If you look at the earnings alert at the bottom, so I explain how to calculate the share size. Let me just delete this for now. Over here, right, I explain in the alert, which you should have gotten via email, I explain how to calculate the share size in this paragraph right here. I'll copy and paste it just so you have it. So here it is. Okay, but basically I know that over 4,666 gaps, the average gap, earnings gap, is 6%. That's in our favor and against us. On average, it's 6%. So far this quarter, it's 6.8. So far this quarter, but if it's 6%, so Greg, let me see. If you enter a trade long for earnings at the end of the day, but then a few minutes later it reports and goes short, are you in trouble the next day? Yeah, you might be in trouble the next day. Correct. You might be, it's going to be against you the next day. Sometimes it goes back up. So I don't touch it after I enter, and I look at it. I don't look at it until the next morning. So you're not missing anything. Why do I use this setting of 5 minutes for shorts and 15 for longs? Because I did the tracking, and that's what worked best. I did the tracking on 3,000 plus plays, and that's what worked best based on the tracking, based on the data. Okay, Cornell? On the PanW, yeah. So here's how not to be dead when it comes to trading earnings. Here's how not to, so just know that on average stocks gap 6% on earnings. Okay, so if you wanted to risk $500 on each play, then it's $500 divided by 6%. That tells you, so what's $8,300? $8,300 is actually the exact dollar amount that you would need to buy of that stock. So if it's a $50 stock, then you take 8,300 divided by 50, then you'd buy 166 shares. You see what I mean? So that's how the formula works. In a lot of platforms, when you go to enter the share size, it gives you the option whether to enter a certain dollar amount or a certain share size. So it's easy. Like E-Trade does E-Trade give us that option? I don't think it does. Quantity. Okay. Oh, so you click on the dollar. Yeah. So take a look. So if you click on the dollar sign, enter the dollar amount. Let's say it's 10,000. Oh, and then the price. Okay, let me just see. Hold on 1 second. So if it is, let's say Nvidia, and then we do, so some platforms, it's really easy. Oh, okay. So basically, the price populates, and you just type in $10,000, and it calculates the share size for you. But some other platforms, you don't have to keep doing this every time you change the symbol. So if I were to go to Apple, now I have to click here, and then this window pops up, and I have to type in 10,000, and now it calculates the share size. Some platforms, you just click on the dollar sign, and it immediately pre-populates the share size for you. And so that's how I figure out how much. So now I'm buying $10,000 worth of shares on each trade. If I see something that I really, really like, then I may double up. But normally I don't. I just stick with the 10,000 per play. Now, what's 10,000? $10,000. So $10,000 divided by 6%. Oops. Divided by 6% is, no, I'm sorry, times 6% is, I'm risking about $600 on average per play. Some plays I might make or lose $150, $200, and some plays they will gap a lot, and I might make or lose a lot more. But I know on average they gap 6%. So that's all you need to know to figure out how much you should get on average per play. So 6%. Again, if you want $100 risk, you do $100 divided by 6. That means you should buy or sell or short $1,600, $1,660 of whatever stock that you're trying to trade on earnings. If it's a $50 stock, that means $1,600 divided by 50, 33 shares. If it's a $25 stock, so that's how the math works for the earnings plays. The other plays, the regular trades, it works differently, because the regular trades, we know what the stop is, so we don't have to guess like how much it's gonna go against us. We know what the maximum is, which is based on the stop price. Now, sometimes even with the swing trades, you end up with a big gap against you. Sometimes, rarely, but most of the time they gap in our favor, unless we're doing something wrong. But so because we know what the stop price is, then you can share size. Then we can figure out the exact share size based on the predetermined risk, however much you risk. I risk 1,000 or 2,000, depends on the swing trades. So that's basically what my share size is for each play. You can round up or round down, like this would be 1,100. It's fine. But since I know what the exact stop price is, I don't have to do this stuff right here. Okay. Let's see. Do I have this instructional formula written somewhere? Yes, I just typed it into the alert for you. The 6% and how to calculate it. If you haven't been able to follow along already, it's typed into the alert, and it's in the alert that went out, in the alert window here in this room, and in the alert that went out. Okay. Would you wait for a pullback on entering Nvidia? Sympathy play. Oh, if sympathy plays. If they look good, but if they don't look good, even if Nvidia looks good, I wouldn't do them. Like SMCI doesn't even look good to me. I don't think it looks all that good. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. That will tell us that's not good. So I wouldn't do the SMCI even as a sympathy play. And then the ARM. ARM is more bullish, but it doesn't have a good pattern at all. So no. It's, trading is not like, we sometimes we oversimplify it. We want it to be as simple as possible, but we don't want to oversimplify. Simply because Nvidia is going to be gapping up tomorrow doesn't mean that the SMCI and the ARM or any of the semiconductor stocks are going to be good longs. Doesn't really mean that at all. And then what about the AMD? Yeah, AMD doesn't even look good. I was liking the AMD weekly chart because of all these bottoming tails, but then it's rolled over. But now probably gaps up, and then the support ends up holding on the AMD. So of the three, I would say AMD tomorrow, long over the SPARS high, buying support. This would be buying support basically, and the entry would be over 165. But it's already, I just looked at it, it's already trading at 169.50. So it's already up a lot in the post market. But yeah, I don't like the SMCI and the ARM. Okay. Let's see. Does understanding swing trade strategy help analyze day trades? Hey Gary. So this is the thing about trading is that like I have, people sometimes want to specialize, and I don't mind it. Like, if you want to specialize in day trading or swing trading or trading earnings only, that's not a bad idea, but you're not going to be very successful. You might be marginally successful if you specialize without first having a really solid foundation, like a general foundation of how things work, of why price moves the way it does. So does that make so? Yes, being able to understand swing trading and and trading off the daily time frame and how prices move on the larger time frames will definitely inform your day trading. Definitely. Can you scalp the intraday without knowing much about swing trading and the daily movements or the movements that occur on the larger time frames? Sure, you can. Are you going to be an incredible trader? No, probably not. Okay. So yeah, I think it's a good idea to have a really solid foundation before specializing. I hope that answers the question. Greg, you're killing me. Let's see. Sorry to keep going back. Okay, if I want to search online for it. I don't know what it is you're referring to exactly, Greg. I don't know what you're exactly what you're referring to. What is it that you're trying to calculate, or to have IB calculate for you? I can probably open up TWS. I think I have an account with like $100 in it. So for so that formula is for the earnings plays. Are you talking about the earnings plays? Is that what you're talking about? Okay, let me show you. The problem is, I don't remember what my password is. Okay, it's actually letting me log in. Perfect. So I'll show you. I should be able to remember how to do it in IB. So I'm logging into TWS. So in TWS, if you go to the global settings, but I'm bringing up the platform, it's logging me in. Okay, so in TWS, if you go to global settings, now where's global settings? I don't even see where global settings is. Oh, account probably. Global settings. Where's the global settings? It's been a while since I used it. File maybe? Maybe, oh yeah, global configuration. Go over here, so file, global configuration. This window will pop up. And then go to probably orders or presets. Presets. Go to presets and then go to stocks. And over here, as you can see, it lets you pick whether you want to do the default order to be shares or dollars. So pick amount and then pick whatever dollar amount you want. So how much do you want to risk per play? In general, on the earnings plays, how much do you want to risk? In general, sometimes you'll end up losing a lot more than that. 500. Okay, so we did the math already. It's $8,300. But here it is. We know it's the average gap is 6%. So 500 divided by 6 is 8,300. So over here, you take that dollar amount, 83.33, type it in here, 83.33, and then click OK, click apply at the bottom. So you saw how I got to this window, right? Global configurations, presets, and then stocks. And then change the shares to amount and then 83.30. Click apply, click OK, and now when you type in a stock in the order entry window, so let's just say it's, give me any stock you want. Let's say it's Apple. Look what it will do. Apple, hit enter. It already defaults to 83.30, and so you hit buy, and then I would change this to market. This way you're just buying it at the market, and then change it to MOC. It's not market, but market on close, and it should be a selection here. No, oh yeah, it's down at the bottom, so I don't know if I can project it, but it's MOC. It just says MOC. Oops, hold on. Close out of this. So if you go over here, click on this, and then select MOC, and that's it, MOC. And then it buys. You see it already, and so you just type in the symbol. So let's say Microsoft, and again change the preset to, instead of limit, to MOC, and it will just buy you $8,300 worth of stock, and then hit submit. So it becomes really easy to calculate the share size. Got it, Greg? That's how I would do it in TWS or IB. All right, you're very, very welcome. Is the Pristine course I signed up as good? What is a good start if I want to focus on day trade for now? Absolutely. The Pristine method course is the gold standard. It's absolutely the gold standard. That's the first course that I would recommend taking. It's a gold mine, honestly, but people don't realize it. The second course I would take is either the gap strategies, advanced gap strategies, or the opening rush live, which I should be, I'll be teaching this weekend on Saturday. That would be the second course I would take. For swing trading, there is the strategic swing trader course. That's what I would take for swing trading. But check with Amber if you have any questions about what to take. She's helped probably tens of thousands of traders over the years. So just email Amber. Okay. The file strategic swing trader tracking sheet, what does the column risk size 50% refer to? So that refers to my size on it. So if it's 50%, it's $1,000 for me. If it's 100%, and that means it is it's a $2,000 play. So if you look at the open positions, so Bitcoin I did it with $2,000 risked instead of but the vast majority of the plays are $1,000 per play. But that's what that means. I'm glad you asked because it is a little bit confusing. I tried to take it off, but people wanted to have it so this way they know when I'm oversizing a play. It means I really really like it, and of course Beto or Bitcoin, I really really liked at 18. What is Beto trading at today? I mean, it's doing pretty well. It's at 24, so it's up $6. So yeah, that's what that means. Again, I know it's a little bit confusing. All right, any last questions here before I step off the mic? Any last questions at all? Would the swing trader course be easier for those who work? So the TPM class, I mean, I think if you want to do swing trading or day trading, I think the first class to take would be the TPM class. In my opinion, that would be the first class to take. The strategic swing trader course is more for people that are already familiar with the pristine method. But so in my opinion, I would take the TPM class. That would be the first class I would take. And then if you want to focus on swing trading, then in addition to the TPM, I would also take the strategic swing trader. If you want to focus on day trading, then I would take either advanced gap strategies or opening rush live. But regardless of what style, then I would still take the TPM as the first class. What about psychology? Do we get into the psychology of patterns? Let's see. I mean, we probably do, but it's not emphasized that much, like the psychology behind the pattern, probably. But we do, in the TPM class, we do talk about the psychology behind price movements, behind, the psychology that we have in stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. But not that necessarily the psychology of the pattern itself, of like the buy setup, the breakout, the 1, 2, 3. But we do explain the rationale for them and the reasoning. So you can say yes, we talk about the reasoning behind them, and that's kind of the same as the psychology behind them. Okay. All right, guys, I'm gonna step off the mic because I don't want to completely abuse my voice, so this way I can still moderate tomorrow. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you tomorrow morning. Have a nice evening. Take care, everybody.